Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And with all the excitement about ranked play finally arriving into the game, turns out that may not be the case anymore. We've got delays coming through officially. Pro players understandably not happy about this one, but also could the OpTic Texas Academy finally be coming to fruition? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. As with the YouTube algorithm, let's just dive straight on into things. Firstly, this pretty exciting from the New York Subliner side. We know of course they did their first episode of No Pressure a little bit ago now. This one I believe is kind of not quite catching us all the way up to date. I believe that No Pressure 3 is when we finally get to see everything that went on, I guess, from their perspective on the Neptune situation and what they're thinking right now. No Pressure 2 I believe is catching up a little bit ago. We're not fully up to date I believe when this episode comes out, but it's arriving sometime later today. Pretty exciting stuff nonetheless to just catch up with what these guys are thinking and how the progression of the season has gone, because certainly if there's an organisation right now that it's good to have kind of a peek behind the scenes, Subliners is certainly one of them. Let's speak about the Challengers Elite that went down last night then. So the grand finals concluded in both of the regions, Europe and of course APAC as well. And of course in Europe, no surprises really. I believe they even lost the first series of the grand finals. The bracket was reset against them. This is actually an interesting point really, because the way the Challengers is done is just like a traditional Call of Duty event from the CWL MLG days, where in the grand finals, the team from winners has they play 2 best of 5s effectively. The team from winners has to win only 1 best of 5. The team from losers has to win 2 best of 5s to win the entire thing, just like it used to be at the pre-CDL CWL events. Now, they don't do that in the pro scene because apparently it's too complicated right nowadays. If you come from winners or losers, you'll just go into the grand finals a best of 9 or whatever, and it'll just be a straight fight, which doesn't give the team from winners any advantage. Or even at the World Championship in Modern Warfare in 2020, they gave a 1-map advantage to the team from winners. They didn't even do that last year, right? So not really sure why the difference there, right? If they're doing this in challenges with their kind of the traditional Call of Duty formats, then why isn't that being copied over to the Pro League? That's an interesting question, but it benefits these guys right here because they lose the first series, they win the second one. But yes, the Rokkr Academy, I mean, this of course the team they picked up a few days ago, the Spanish guys. These guys have won 5 out of the 6 Cups and Challengers Elite so far in this game, and I'm pretty sure they were in the grand finals of the other one that they didn't win. And I mean, yeah, these guys have been out of control. Definitely the favourites right now to qualify and be that seed that goes from the European side to the Pro-Am Classic, which I'm sure Rokkr are very excited about that possibility. But also, I wonder how this team would do if they just came into the Pro League. I feel like they'd be better than Paris. In the North American side, it's what's been called Texas Nation right now who win the entire thing. Very impressive stuff and very interesting stuff actually with what OpTic might think to do with a squad like this, because of course General is OpTic's substitute. He did step into the Huntsman real quick. You guys might remember when they kind of made the Gunless change. General stepped in very briefly before Priestahh came into that roster to round out the team for the rest of the year. But General hasn't really seen all that much action in the starting team over the last year or so. Of course he's not really ideally placed to be a sub for the team just because he's not an SMG player, right? He's generally an AR player, and usually you want your substitute to be a little bit more versatile than a guy like General, but still he can potentially do that. His team yesterday wins the Elite, $20,000 in the pocket for all of them. So General, Havoc, Kismet and Brezzy with Mayhem as the coach. So pretty interesting stuff. Also shout out to Brezzy really, because if you guys remember this name, I believe he came top 4 at the Black Ops 4 champs on Enigma 6 as it was at the time. French player, currently playing in North America. You'd think that maybe if New York are considering another option as their 4th player outside of Royalty, if that doesn't really work out, they don't want to bring back Neptune, Brezzy and Hydra could be a great duo. It's kind of a duo we expected Paris to sign, but of course that didn't end up happening. So yeah, maybe Brezzy's a guy to consider there, right? Definitely been a player on the tip of a lot of people's tongues for quite a while now, but also Havoc as well. So I wonder what OpTic will do here, because yes, it's Texas Nation, but still, these guys definitely have some potential to get back into the league. That was Havoc's entire idea, right? He decided not to sit on the sub bench for Florida. He said, no, I'm going to leave your team, I'm going to go to Texas and actually play in Texas, give myself a better chance online to try and get back in the Pro League. So these are certainly guys that could be targeted. OpTic could maybe do a decent job here of actually bringing them on as an official academy, given the fact that Rokkr have done that with the academy squad that just won the most recent tournaments. Speaking of Havoc real quick, the stats for this series were completely out of control. This from easymack, he was tracking this stuff. Havoc ended the grand final with a 1.95 KD, 86 in 44, completely absurd, over 9,000 damage. This guy was out of control, very interesting indeed. Of course, these are challenger stats, don't mean quite as much as Pro League stats, but still, he's definitely making a good case to get back into the league somewhere or another. And these are some moments here from the grand finals, but certainly the big topic of yesterday was ranked play, right? Everyone was saying, okay, ranked play is finally going to come back into business, where it's actually slightly earlier, I believe, than last year. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. As Kenny says, ranked play tomorrow, streams are back. Everyone's really excited about it. I'm personally really excited as well. It seems like a great format. I used to love watching World War II ranked back in the day when there was an elo-based system. The pros would hop in, they'd play effectively these matches are kind of like 8s for the pros at the very top level when they're getting matched up against people of other very similar elo ratings, but also other players players can get into the mix there, some amateur players that people might not so much have heard of. They can get on the top 250 ladder, just like aBeZy did back in the World War II days, started to make his name, then kind of got almost picked up as a result of that, right? People knew this aBeZy guy because he was dominating the ranked play leaderboards. That's what helped him get picked up, right? So it's really exciting from up-and-coming players as well to prove themselves against the pros, but also it means the matches they play in these kind of ranked play systems are actually more important, right? Because there's elo on the line, there's points on the line that you want to be number one ranked if you're a pro player. So you want to win these matches more than you might do in 8s, and therefore probably better practice actually for these pros playing these ranked play games than they would be actually playing 8s. But still, it was expected to arrive later today. There was some talk about when it's going to happen, and Attach says ranked play content and please revive multiplayer on YouTube. That's certainly what Attach is looking for. I think this will help to some degree when ranked play does arrive, because always a good time watching these guys play at the highest of levels. Obviously about time it arrives into the game, but of course we thought it was going to be coming today, and as Toronto say, happy ranked play Evo, they kind of ranked the teams. They got contender special. I thought it was pretty good, to be fair. Specialist down here and second bottom, then Florida, OpTic right to the middle, then Minnesota, Los Angeles, Guerrillas actually they give some credit to, and then Toronto Ultra at the top in Changes, which I believe is going to be like the top 250 players or whatever on the rankings that they're going to go for. But well, as Clayster tweets out, what time's rank dropping tomorrow? I'm pretty sure Charlie Intel did a tweet saying that it was going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and at 6 p.m. over here in the UK. But then that tweet has since been deleted. A change of plan from the Treyarch side, as they describe right here. Ranked play update. In retail testing prior to launch, we discovered a stats-breaking issue that only appears in the live environment. As a result, the beta will not go live tomorrow morning as intended. Resolving this is a top priority. We'll have an update on timing ASAP. No update as of yet, and I mean, this is kind of unfortunate, right? Like, I feel bad for Treyarch, really, in a way, because these guys, obviously, they kind of got thrown into a difficult situation with releasing Cold War, because last year was meant to be Sledgehammer's game, right, in 2020, but I think, the game was awful or something, so Treyarch had to step in and kind of, hurry their own game along in Cold War to kind of replace what Sledgehammer does. Now they have to come in and do the ranked play for this game, and then there's some sort of issue, right, and they're like, I don't know, Activision seem to be just saying, Treyarch, like, get on and do everything that we need to get done on a decent level. But again, not sure why this would happen in a live environment. I don't really know. When I first saw this, I was wondering if this is kind of an issue they've known about for a few days now, and they were just hoping they could get figured out in time, or whether they just tested this when it actually goes live, like kind of behind the scenes over the last 24 hours or so, and realized there's an issue here and they've got to get it resolved. There's no update on timing on this as of yet, right? Of course, not going to go live tomorrow morning. I think Chrome was kind of saying in the reply, it's probably going to go live tomorrow afternoon, right? That seems pretty simple stuff. But yeah, would not be too optimistic about that one. And I'll share a couple of thoughts here from Shotzzy and also Scump on the fact that Scump's really excited for ranked play, whatever the form it actually happens to be. And Shotzi's like, come on, are we seriously getting a delay already? At least tell us how long is kind of an expected time for it to be delayed. Like whether we're talking 48 hours, 24 hours, or whether we're talking another week or so.
Ranked 10 has been delayed. Wait. Treyarch Twitter? Bro, you guys are not trolling, dude? What? Bro, are you serious, dude? Ranked play is delayed, bro? Bruh. Bro, what, dude? How delayed, bro? Like, we talking about like a couple minutes?
I'm not like, dude, I can't wait for ranked play to come out. I don't even care if it sucks. I don't care if it's the worst thing ever. As long as we have like ranked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. It could be the same exact system as last year. I don't care at this point. I just want to have like something to play other than pubs. We're 3 months in. I just need something else. I need something on the maps that we're going to be playing, the modes, no damage rounds. Like the thing about pubs in this game, I like pubs, but the damage rounds just make it like if you're not using them, you're getting bullied by people that are using them. So it forces you to use them, and those are different than the guns that you're using. So it's like, and I don't know, dude. I just can't wait I can't wait. I need league play now. You know what I'm saying?
So I definitely hope it arrives very soon indeed. I wanted to look at this real quick before we kind of go on to the final topic of the video, the point standings as the CDL currently sits. Because, well, going into this week, very exciting. The teams are, honestly, there's such a mess really for who's going to get this, 8 seeds. Because, well, as you can see, at the top of the scoreboard, we've got FaZe, Surge, and Ravens. These 3 teams are guaranteed through to the winners bracket for the major. At the bottom here, I believe that New York and Paris are probably out already. Maybe New York could possibly make it if they, win both their series 3-0, and then they might have the map count tiebreaker, because map count is going to be very important here for a lot of these teams. Florida could technically still make it, but if you've got 3 losses already, probably you're not in with a great chance, because realistically, only one team that goes 2-3 is probably going to make it in. It could happen in other ways, but you know, we're going to see how it goes. Right now, it's actually very important for OpTic that they lose the tiebreaker to Rokkr, right? Because right now, Rokkr have the tiebreaker over OpTic. So if these two teams are tied, theoretically, I believe, Rokkr should get the advantage. But if OpTic are tied with a team like Guerrillas, then it comes down to map count because they didn't play against each other. I believe that's how it goes. I think it goes head-to-head first, and then it goes down to kind of map count between the teams if they didn't play each other. And then if that's tied as well, it goes to kind of strength of schedule. So you would look at who OpTic played and where they finished compared to who Guerrillas played and where they finished, and then decide things from there. But it's by no means guaranteed that even those two teams are tied or other teams are tied. In fairness, I believe that Boston play New York this week, so you'd think that Boston probably don't go 0-2, all things considered. And it's same with the Thieves, because I believe Thieves play Paris. So I think really on the schedules here, Boston and Thieves should at least get 3 wins on the board, you would think. And Toronto, even if they go 0-2, their map count is probably so good that they'll get through regardless with just a couple of wins. But what it really means is it's very important for OpTic to actually get some good map counts, because let's say they lose to Ultra, but they beat Boston. They need to really lose to Ultra like Game 5. They can't really afford to get 3-0'd by Ultra, because then their map count is looking pretty shoddy, and that could actually be a really big deal down to the wire. So my expectation is that Legion, New York, and Florida will guarantee pretty much being losers here, and then one of maybe these 3 teams will probably not find it into winners either. All these teams still have matters in their own hands, right? If they just win everything, then they should be okay, but it's not always going to be that easy, right? And of course, Thieves and Breach, I guess, could still technically actually fall out here, but they would have to certainly get upset by the teams this week, and maybe Ultra in a similar boat as well, but that seems relatively unlikely to happen. But yeah, crazy how tight this is going to be. I hope the CDL and Esports engine do a good job explaining exactly how these tiebreakers work in the potential scenarios, because things are going to get pretty hectic indeed. And just to finish out with this real quick from Exotic, because well, he signs a contract officially. Thought this might be somewhat related to this, because we saw a few days ago now that Crone talked about the Toronto Ultra wanted to sign an Academy pairing with Team Singularity. We saw that could OpTic do a similar thing as we discussed at the start of the video. It was meant to be Diamondcorn, Royalty, Exotic, and Hixie as their Academy squads, but of course Royalty went over to the New York Subliners, right? But maybe they found a replacement here on this team, and therefore they're going to sign these 3 plus maybe some other Canadian guy. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button and tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video. I'd also like you should see it as well. And I'm growing the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.